Guys, if my sound is not clear, please inform me. Okay, guys. And in the previous time, guys, we discussed that we have 3 ways for the heat to be transferred. Always, guys, the heat to transfer from higher temperature to lower temperature. This is the heat transfer, or the heat transfer in this from higher temperature to lower what? Temperature. Okay. Now, as a result of that, guys, as a result of that, the object may, or its state may change, or its temperature may change. Yani, as a result of this thermal transfer, either by gaining this thermal energy or by losing this thermal energy. We have 2 possible things that may take place. Either the state of the matter changes or the temperature of the matter changes. If the state of the matter changes, we'll talk about specific latent heat. If the temperature of the matter changes, we will talk about specific heat capacity. Specific heat capacity. Is that understood, guys? إذن عشان لأنه دائما students may have a common mistake or they cannot distinguish between these 2 things, specific heat capacity and specific latent heat. If there's a temperature change, I have to use specific heat capacity and all the analogy for including specific heat capacity. If there's a state change, I have to use specific latent heat. I will show you this in details. Hello, guys, let's define what is meant by specific heat capacity. In order to define this, let's consider these blocks that are formed from 2 identical blocks, but they are formed from different materials. Water, oil, concrete. Water, oil, what? Concrete. They have all 1 kilogram, right? And we want to heat them to rise their temperature from 20 to 21. All of them, we want to measure the heat needed or thermal energy needed to rise their temperature from 20 to 21. After carrying out this, we got, and we need 4,200 joules for water, oil 2,100, and concrete 800 watt 50. Any question, guys? Right, guys. If I ask you a question now, if I consider the heat as a liquid, and let's imagine in heat like the liquid, which of these blocks will have higher capacity? شو رايكم؟ سند؟
ما فهمت السؤال.
هلا again احنا عندنا 3 blocks identical 1 kilogram but they made from different materials. عطيناهم heat to rise their temperature من 20 ل 21. From 20 to 21.
يعني الووتر بيكون على الكاباسيتي.
بالضبط، يعني هو هذا الكونسبت، انه اذا تخيلت انه انا عم بعبي ووتر فيهم او عم بعبي ليكويد، بلاش احكي ووتر، يعني let's say imagine انه these materials like tanks, liquid tanks. I want to fill them to rise their level 1 degree. مين عنده capacity اكثر؟ مين اخذ heat اكثر؟ الووتر، right? الووتر gains more heat. So as a result of that, guys, we can say that the water has higher specific heat capacity. So what is the definition of the specific heat capacity? It's the amount of energy needed to change the temperature of 1 kilogram of substance 1 degree Celsius. 1 degree what? Celsius. And this specific heat capacity depends on the material. Depends on the material. Look here. We can see here, guys, that the water has the highest specific heat capacity. You have to know the unit, guys, the unit. The unit for specific heat capacity units might be joules per kilogram degree Celsius or joules per gram degree Celsius according to the question. I will show you this also. So guys, when heat energy is transferred to an object, its temperature increase. Yani when you heat something, temperature increase depends on the mass. Guys, if the mass is larger, or if I have a larger object, or let's say if I have a larger mass object, okay? If I heat it by the same amount with a smaller mass object, the rise in temperature for the larger mass object will be lower than the rise in temperature for a lower mass object. They are inversely proportional, which is logically, guys, I need more heat to rise the temperature of a large or a massive object. Definitely, it depends on the substance, like what did we see in the previous one. It depends on the amount of energy transferred. And if I supply the object by more heat, its temperature rise will be more. In water, guys, and you will be asked about these things. Water has particularly high specific heat capacity compared with other liquids. This makes the water, pay attention to this, guys. This makes a water useful for storing and for transporting it around at home in central heating pipes. And guys, any cooling system or heating system ايش بيستخدموا؟ use ايش؟ الووتر to transport الهيت، صح؟ هلا بالcentral heating system from the boiler to the radiator بيكون عندنا water، صح؟ هذا hot water is coming from the boiler to the radiators. This water will release this heat in the room, so the room will be heated up. Clear? What is meant by specific heat capacity of lead is 128 joules per kilogram per degree Celsius. This means, guys, that each, oh, sorry, you write it in high. The heat needed, or thermal energy needed, to rise the temperature of 1 kilogram of lead is 128 joules. Yani, if I have 1 kilogram of lead, I want to rise its temperature 1 degree Celsius, I need 128 joules. Mira, هلا specific heat capacity for oxygen.
صار مش لازم نحكي باي 1 سلسيوس ولا لا؟
باي 1 سلسيوس انا ما كتبتهاش. نايس سوري. لا اتس امبورتنت. انا حكيتها صح؟ حكيتها ولا ما حكيتها؟
لا ما حكيتها.
لا سوري، لازم نحكي باي 1 سلسيوس اكيد. باي 1 degree Celsius is ايش 128 joules. Thank you Kinan. Yes, we have to write this. طيب ميرا، هلا for oxygen the specific heat capacity is 918. What does this mean? Mira. I think Fatma with us كمان صح? Fatma, are you with us?
Yes.
Okay, Fatma. Now, again, Fatma, for oxygen, right? For oxygen, the same thing. If I told you that the oxygen specific heat capacity is 918 joules per kilogram per degree Celsius, what does this mean? نفس الشيء هون الله عليه. فاطمة. Here this means إنه أنا إذا عندي block of oxygen تمام الماس تاعته 1 كيلوغرام لأنه جبت cylinder has oxygen of 1 kilogram. If I want to heat it يعني to rise its temperature من 20 ل 21 أو من 21 ل 22 يعني 1 degree Celsius بس قد إيه بدي energy؟ فاطمة هاي in front of you قد إيه بدي energy؟ قد إيه بدي energy؟ $918, right? 918. Pay attention يا فاطمة الله يرضى عليك يا. Guys, again, يعني specific heat capacity. Specific heat capacity, if I want to heat this matter, if I want to heat 1 kilogram of this matter, to rise its temperature 1 degree Celsius, I need this amount of energy, 918. The energy needed, or the thermal energy needed, or the heat, I have to mention this. Heat or thermal energy, the thermal energy needed to rise the temperature of 1 kilogram of the oxygen by 1 degree Celsius is قديش بدنا energy 918 joules. Okay, Sanad, is that clear? Sanad?
Yes.
طيب. هلا pay attention to this, guys. يعني you may have a question like this, but يعني rarely. عندنا specific heat capacity و heat capacity, right? Specific heat capacity و heat capacity. The heat capacity, guys, I have to multiply the specific heat capacity by the mass. يعني if you are asked about the heat capacity, I have to multiply the specific heat capacity by the mass. But this is the only difference. Okay, إنه the heat capacity, specific heat capacity times the mass. Times what? The mass. This is the equation, guys, that will be used if there's a change in temperature. And this is the equation that will be used to calculate the energy if there's a change in temperature. This is used to calculate the heat needed to change, right, the temperature of the object, either increasing or decreasing. And guys, this amount of heat or this amount of energy that will be calculated using this formula, okay, can be used to, or this heat can be gained or lost, can be gained or lost. E is the energy transferred M is the mass, C is specific heat capacity, delta T, it's the temperature what? Difference. Look to this question, guys. Let's say I have 2 kilograms of water. I want to rise the temperature of this water from 20 to 30 degrees Celsius. I want to measure how much energy needed, okay, to rise this temperature from 20 to 30. Formula is, and this is gained energy. E equals in mass 2 kilograms. Specific heat capacity for water will be given for you, guys. Will be given. Change in temperature 30 minus 20. This becomes 84,000 joules, right? 84,000 joules. يعني أنا in order to rise the temperature of this water, guys, يعني مثلا إذا أنا عندي 2 kilograms و I want to measure قديش بدي energy needed to rise the temperature of this water 10 degrees Celsius, I have to use this, okay? I have to use this formula. Here another question. ميرا لساتك معنا ولا تركتينا ميرا؟ ميرا مش معنا. طيب. هلا how much energy is needed to increase the temperature of 500 grams of lead from 20 to 45? Again, guys, similar thing. Here MC delta T. The mass is 500 grams. طبعا sorry, هاي gram. I have to convert it to kilogram, guys. The mass 500 grams divided by 1,000, which is 0.5 kilogram, right? 0.5 what? Kilogram. Am I recording? Yes, I'm recording. Fine. So mass 0.5. The specific heat capacity given 128. Change in temperature 45 minus 20. بيطلع
1600
joules. Okay, so this is the amount of energy needed to rise the temperature of this from 20 to 45. This is an important part, guys, here that you'll be asked to do it, which is the method of measuring specific heat capacity. And you'll be asked to do a question like this. Set up an experiment to measure specific heat capacity for aluminum, for water, for anything else like this, okay? Here, guys, I have to use this. You know, we have energy supplied to energy gained. Look here, please, guys. This is the setup that I will use. And you have to draw it like this. This is aluminum block, electrical heater, thermometer, and stopwatch. Here also, guys, I may connect ammeter. I will show you why. Here I will connect what? Voltmeter. Guys, this is a very important thing. How I may connect the voltmeter be better. هون. باخد من هون ومن هون, okay? I voltmeter. Guys, you have to draw it like this بالضبط. Now, I will return back to the basic principle here. إنه ideally, all the energy is applied by the heater gained by what? By the water. Again, guys, this is ideal case because definitely there will be a heat transfer to surrounding. Okay. So how can I measure supplied by the heater? مين بيعرف؟ أي heater, أي electrical heater طبعا. How can we measure the energy supplied by electrical heater? Power times time. تمام؟ Regularly, guys, the power is given. يعني you will be given مثلا, as what I told you before, guys, when we talked about the electricity, all electrical appliances, guys, are labeled by its power. يعني قد ايه بيعطيني power. يعني تلاقي مثلا whatever the heater بيكون مكتوب عليه دائما قديش عندنا power قديش عندنا voltage. So here basically, guys, we have a power times time. This is the how we will measure or how we will calculate the heat supplied by the heater. Here, not water, sorry. Here, guys, this is aluminum because here we are measuring aluminum. mc delta T. Right, guys, according to this equation, what we have to measure? Yalla, this is the equation. We are asked about what? C. We want to measure C. So it's PT over M delta T. شو رأيك سند? What we have to measure here? Hey, from the formula.
The energy gain.
Okay, how we will measure this?
We will multiply the volts with the energy supplied.
Volts with energy supplied? لا. طب هاي الايكويشن قدامكم جماعة. هاي من هون. What we have to measure? Mass using balance.
Temperature change using thermometer.
Yes. Initial and final temperature. صح؟ يعني هون using a balance on initial and
time.
final temperature with time بالضبط.
ايش
هون
البي؟
ايش؟ power. T time using stopwatch. بضل البي power we have to measure, if you remember, power current في time. Current be voltage, sorry. If you remember, guys, the electrical power is current times voltage. Current times voltage. Is that clear? Any question, guys, about this?
No.
Okay. So basically here, what I have to write, I have first of all to draw this, showing the electrical circuit that will be used. Readings and procedure. First of all, I have to record the first temperature of the reading, 10 power supply, and start the stop clock. When recording volts and amperes, take an average for this duration, the experiment. لأنه you know that إنه power equals current times voltage. After 5 minutes, turn off the power supply off, but leave the circuit in another extra minute. This is because immersion heater, after the battery back is turned off, it will still be providing heat. صح؟ يعني أنا okay, I will switch off the power supply, but I will not take the reading of the final temperature. I will stay 1 minute because لسه still عندنا الهيتر عم بيعطي heat. After typical value, which is 1 minute. After this 1 minute, record the temperature, which is the final temperature. And the value is calculated using higher formula. S equals, C, sorry, equals IVT instead of the power over M, change in temperature. Okay, guys, which is I and V in order to measure power I times V. Here, let's say this is a result from an experiment. We measured mass, we measured voltage, current, and temperature change. C equals I V T over change in mass. Sorry, mass times change in temperature. Guys, here, pay attention. Here we have two things: T capital, T small. T capital is the time, T small is, sorry, T capital is temperature, T small is the time. C equals الvoltage our current is 4.9, 11.6, time 5 minutes, right? Over mass times change in temperature, which is 41. ده بيطلع هذا كمان. Guys, the time always will be converted to seconds. Always the time must be converted to a seconds.
بس دقيقة.
Yeah.
بيطلع 411.3.
400. Unit, guys, joules per kilogram per degree what? Celsius.
إذا rounding to significant figure بتكون 411.
اوكي تمام. طيب هلا another way, guys, او before this way, خلينا let's خليها شوي هاي هلا we will go back to it. If I want to measure specific heat capacity of water or the same thing, guys, same thing. طلعوا معي هون. This is what we have to draw. Beside that, we have to draw what? Stopwatch, as what we mentioned before. Everything must be labeled. Okay. Here on the heater here, I may connect ammeter like this. Voltmeter and power supply. Pay attention, guys, because this is you will be asked about these things. Draw voltmeter parallel with the heater, ammeter series, power supply. Same thing, water, stirrer, a thermometer. Again, guys, here I will use the same concept that energy supplied by the heater is equivalent to energy gained by water. The energy supplied by the heater, as what we mentioned before, power times time. Energy gained by the water, it's mc delta T, because here, guys, we have change in temperature. We have a change in temperature. Here in power, I can instead use IV بدال الباور، صح؟ يعني قلنا electrical power هو IV times T equals mc delta T. Same thing, guys. Again, شو رأيك سند? What we have to measure here, أعطيني measurements that, or the readings that must be taken here in order to measure the specific heat capacity.
تبع الواتر أستاذ.
Yes.
بيكون ال initial temperature أول شيء.
Yes. Excellent.
وبعدين we have to measure the voltage.
Voltage. Yes.
والcurrent.
Yes. وإيش كمان عندنا؟ وtime لا تنسى.
time taken إيش اسمه to change
يعني
the temperature.
بالضبط. وبدنا قديش الماس كمان ما تنسوا، بدنا الماس of water. Right? We need ايش؟ The mass of water. So I measure all these underlined by the red, right? Directly. So eventually we will find C equals what? I VT over what? M delta T. Then I can find the value of C. The same procedure, same everything, the same method. Okay. And the same for طبعا you will be asked about these things, guys. And you have to know how to draw the setup for this experiment to measure the specific heat capacity either for liquid or for a solid. I showed you how to draw this for a solid. I showed you how to draw it for a liquid. Continue, okay, until the peaks, and then record this temperature, leave the equipment to cool, consider time. From doing the above experiment, we obtained the following data. تمام? First of all, طلعوا what he did in this experiment, guys. He measured the mass of aluminum contained in aluminum with water. But why did he do this? Think about it, please, guys. No, measure the mass of aluminum with water. يعني this one. This is aluminum container. This one. Or container in general, no matter what is it. شو رأيك فاطمة? Why first of all we have to measure the mass of aluminum with water, then the mass of aluminum container without water? Fatma is not with us.
To find the mass of water.
Yes, guys, to find the mass of the water. Basically, there is a problem here. Oh, you know this حتى even from grade 9. I can't measure حتى from science in grade 7 and 8. I can't measure the mass of the water directly above the balance. صح? And you'll be asked about this, guys. First of all, I have to measure the mass of the beaker, then the mass of the beaker and water, then I have to subtract. The mass of water is 0.1477 minus 0.0323. This will be قديش بيطلع يا كنان؟
بيطلع 0.1154
kilograms. The temperature difference, guys, 31 minus 23 فراح يعطيني قديش 8 I think. لا شو 8 wait
8
yes 8 degree Celsius. وعندنا التايم، عندنا كل شيء. بقدر استخدم الايكويشن هاي انه مره ثانيه. Let me rewrite this. Energy gained by the heater in order to get used these things equals energy heat gained by water. وهي energy ايش؟ supplied. The energy supplied IVT وهي MC delta T for water. صح؟ Just substitution. Time is 381 seconds equals the mass, which is for water. C, we want to find or to measure change in temperature on 8 degree. By doing this calculation, I can find the specific heat capacity for water. Let me show you another way, guys, to measure the specific heat capacity that will be asked about it, which is called a mixture method. The main point, guys, the main point, and I want energy supplied. I want energy what? Gained. And I want something to supplies energy. I want something, the object or the material that will gain this energy. We want to measure its specific heat capacity. We want to measure its specific heat capacity. Here, guys, I want in this experiment, I will show you this. I want to measure the specific heat capacity of the metal, this metal. Measure specific heat capacity of the metal block without using a heater. This is another way. I don't want to measure ash. I don't want to use a heater, or I don't, let's say available heater, or heater is not available for us. So what I have to do here, guys, I know that the specific heat capacity, or I know the specific heat capacity of water, right? I know the specific heat capacity of water. Okay. What I will do here, pay attention. First of all, guys, I placed this metal block in the boiling water. I will wait 2 to 3 minutes until the metal has temperature equal 100 degrees Celsius. Why 100 degree? Because it's placed where? In boiling water. So first of all, I have to place the metal in a boiling water, right? I'll wait around 2 to 3 minutes until the metal has the temperature as the boiling water, which is 100 degrees Celsius. Then, guys, I have to move this metal where in this cup, which is also has a cold water, and here this cup has a cold water. Okay. Then after 2 or 3 minutes, I have to measure the final temperature of the mixture. 2 or 3 seconds, maybe 4, around these things. So I will get the final temperature of what? Of the mixture. Let's go back again to the concept here. Energy gained equals energy supplied. Here, guys, I don't have a heater. Since the metal is hotter than the water in this cup, in the second cup. Since, pay attention, guys, since the metal is hotter than the water, so here the energy supplied from the heater is equivalent to the energy gained from where? By the water, sorry. And here, sorry, مش heater, الميتال. No, without using, sorry, الميتال here will supply, sorry guys. The metal here will supply the heat because it's hotter than the water. Well, water will gain because it's colder than the metal. Here, guys, I will use this mcΔT for the metal because its temperature decreases. Here I will use also mcΔT for water because its temperature increases. And here, guys, here there's a change in temperature, here decrease in temperature. Here we have increase in temperature. Guys, any change in temperature, I have to use this formula. Pay attention, guys, now. Specific heat capacity for water is known, right? This is what? Known. This is unknown. We want to measure it. So what I have to measure here? I have to measure the mass of water here. Mass of water, right? In the cup. In which cup? In the second cup. Mass of metal. 3. Final temperature of the mixture. The initial temperature of the water. Yani before placing the metal inside it. Okay. These are the things that I have to measure. Now, if I substitute here these values that I measured here in this equation, if I substitute these values here, if I substitute the mass of water, the mass of metal, specific heat capacity of water known, change in temperature can be found for water, change in temperature for metal can be found also. Okay, so I can find the specific heat capacity of the metal. Let me do this question very quickly. This is about the same thing. Oh, you not have time. Sorry. Type. Next time, inshallah, I will quick revise this point. I will do this question. Okay.
اوكي
Okay, guys. يعطيكم العافية.
الله يعافيك.